Hey everyone, I'm just going to share you a two-part series. This is going to be the first part where we make some marbled painted paper, and then the second part will be up and it will be where I use that paper to make some DIY embellishments. So I'm just putting some shaving foam here on my tray, just using a loyalty card to spread it out, make it even. I found if you're scraping, you need to wipe it off a little because it makes those big ridges on the side there. So I just going to use the paints here, the Vicki Boutin acrylic paints that we got in the August kit from the mixed media kit, and I'm just using my spatula. So to start with, I just smush it around like this and add it like blended colors, put on my paper, and then when you pull it up, it looks like that. I did have a few spots where I hadn't pressed it, so I just pushed it a bit more. And then again with the loyalty card, and you just take off the shaving foam, wipe that off, and then you have a clear gift card to do it again. And that just imprints the paint in a marble technique below. Then you can use the shaving foam again if you don't have too much of a clash of colors going on. Sometimes you can just put some new paper down on whatever's left behind, depending on how much paint and colour is there for the next one. So the reason why we made this is in the design team chat, Steph decided that we should all get along and we do get along. We should all try this marbling technique and see if we can make some DIY embellishments, and then we could have a little bit of a challenge. It was towards the end of August and we were all a bit hectic, so a few of us did it but not many, and even now it's the middle of September and I'm just getting this video voiceovered for you guys, but it was a lot of fun. So sometimes it's nice that it's, you know, if you're in a design team or if you're just in a chat or talking to a friend in real life or whatever, or even if you just see a video and you go, oh, that would be good, let me try that. It's nice to just challenge yourself and try something a bit different, and because sometimes you'll be surprised at how well it works. So added some green to that one, and that was a lovely little pop of goodness. So I'm just adding some more white foam shaving cream up the top, just because it was becoming a bit too much colour going on and I didn't need all that. So starting with some new shaving foam, added on some pink, the two pink shades that we've got, and we're just going to smush it. So I do realise that if you just smush the colour like this, it's very different to if you smush it and then you do this. So you use the tip of your spatula or whatever tool you're using and smush it through. That marbles the colour, makes the colour look more marbled, like the normal marble effect that you have. And it took me a while to realise that that was actually the technique that most people were doing. So you can see, look at the paint that's left behind this time. So it's really lovely swirly goodness that's going on. There's so much shaving foam. It's one, I guess it's like shaving your legs or shaving your beard if you're a male. There is so much shaving foam, and it just accumulates. It feels like it just multiplies. So I wiped all that shaving foam out and I'm starting fresh. I'm just wiping it off. Sometimes I like to just make sure nothing's on my fingers as much as possible. So here's where I realise if you scrape it a few times and then wipe that off, you don't get those big ridges in between. It's so lovely texture and such a nice thing to feel and do. So I actually run out of blue paint. That I was just scraping the shaving foam to make it flat over and over and over, and realised that, okay, it's done. We can move on to the next step. It's just one of those movements that you're like, oh, that's so nice and sensory and it feels so lovely. So these colours blended together really well. Add in a bit of the swirl. I did swirl a bit too much there, so try it again. And yeah, so you can see that these four colours came in the box that we got for the from Vicki Boutin. That's how she packages them. It's nice to have some colours that blend well together. So if either a collection, a set of colours that came as a collection like I've used this time, or a shade of colours, or, you know, two colours that blend together well, not colours that are, you know, don't go together well and will mush up together and make a, you know, make a brown marbled paper that you might not want to be going for. By all means, if you are wanting that, then go ahead and do that. So you can see the marbled effect on these papers. They're so, like, the other thing is that it's so fun to do that you just keep doing papers and then realize, okay, stop, I need to use some of these and move on with my creating. So all this shaving foam that I smushed off the first, you know, the normal marbled paper, I put it onto a wiper there. But then I thought, oh, I wonder what it looks like if I scraped it onto paper. So just scraping that straight onto paper, and it's so, like, crazy that there's not as much paint in this scrapings but it's still, when you scrape it onto fresh cardstock, it still makes that lovely marbled, beautiful colour. It blows my mind. I don't know how it works, but it works so well. So just making sure all the shaving foam is off. And there we go. So I'm just showing you some close-ups of the paper that I made. There's that big one that's got all the off scrapings on. And then we've got all these lovely papers here. I love that pink one. So next is I'm going to use my hole punches, well, shaped punches, and also cut a tag out of the paper. So I've just got normal printer paper here, and I'm just going to cut it. I realise that I probably should use the paper trimmer, seeing as I want a straight tag, and then I'm going to use it as a template. I don't want to have 20 million tags that all look misshapen. So yeah, so fold it in half so that I can make sure the edges were the same. And there's my template. So I just pull out paper. To make the DIY embellishments, pretty much how I start is I'm going to cut out shapes that I want. So I've got this tag. In a moment, I will get out my punches. The other thing with this paper is if you position, so if you do the tag vertically, then you do it horizontally on the paper, it gives you a different cutout, a different print, basically, of the paper. So I've got a couple of circle punches. I've got my label punch here, trying to make it fit. This one is so bulky, and I have to be so careful because I've pinched like the inside of my palm a few times by using it. The other thing is with these little offcuts, I'm just hand cutting some little hearts. So I end up with 3 size hearts. 3? Yes, I'm pretty sure 3. A couple of circles and a different labels and tags. So yeah. So I'll show you a little bit. I obviously don't show you me cutting the million things that I did cut. So all these little hearts, and they're pretty simple. They're not like perfectly symmetrical. It's nice to have a bit of randomness to them, and just to enjoy the heart shape rather than needing it to be so pedantic. So I'm just folding the paper here so that I can use my tab punch. I was trying to have it so that it would just fold it and you just attached it, but then I had it on the wrong fold. So instead I got 2 tags. Tabs. The word's tabs. And then I do it this way and have the other edge on the fold. Let's see how that goes. And I didn't even cut it properly on the fold, so it didn't work. But it doesn't matter anyway because you just stick it together. Excuse me. And then I have this other tab. The word is tab punch, and it's easier if your paper is flat to try and get it into a punch, and they are there. So that's joined and can fold really easily. So I'm just going to make another tag because I love this print. So yeah, so the next part of the video, the second video, part 2, has how I use these shapes to make some DIY embellishments along with the August kits for what I've got left over, because if you checked out my killer kit video, I have made a lot with August kit and don't have much left. I have a bit, but I was running out of embellishments, ephemera and things, so it was good that I actually made 2 lots of DIY embellishments. I made these with the marbling paper as well as just normal DIY embellishments earlier in the month. And yeah, so you can see I've got some bigger hearts, some little hearts, a couple of tabs, some circles, some tags, and a whole lot of goodness to play with. And then yes, I'm just positioning it there so that you can see what I've got to choose from. And then just this last piece here, just to make sure I've got enough of what I want. So this tag, this label tab is so nice. It's so cool. And also these labels. So these labels are nice to just write straight on, or to layer some tiny words on, or even to just layer a normal label sticker or ephemera onto it to add some goodness behind it as a border. So this is the end of part 1, and I'll catch you for part 2. See ya, bye.